Well, welcome back guys. So in today's episode of PoolieMagTV we will be discussing Newcastle United's first win of the season, the 1-0 win against Wolves. And we'll also be discussing Nick Voltemade and how he makes Newcastle different, the presence that he gives, and also the ratings of the other players. So welcome back everybody to PoolieMagTV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. So I'd just like to say thank you for the continued support on this channel. I've got a little bit of a good community going on. We have a little bit of a banter, a little bit of a back and forth, and it's grown. It's grown. I didn't expect it to grow massively. I didn't expect it to be on 50,000 subscribers within the first 5 months of the channel. To be at 50 subscribers within 5 months is absolutely fantastic, and the fact that people do comment and they do like and they do share the channel means a hell of a lot to me. Now my voice is back. I've had a bit of a cold for the last 2 weeks, so you will probably get a few videos that are a little bit out of sync, and you might think, well, that was about a week ago. But I like to keep consistent. I like to keep the algorithm consistent, and I like to keep my channel consistent. So I've got a couple of videos that I was going to do last week. Unfortunately, like I say, cold and my voice went, so I couldn't do them. But I will bring them out in the next week or two. And you might think, well, Steve, that happened, but it's just content, and we can still have a talk about it, whether it's a week old or 2 weeks old. Football's a funny thing, and all these things come back around sometime or another. But anyway, I'm going to be totally honest. I did not watch the full match. I've only watched the extended highlights. So if anybody did watch the full match and disagrees with anything I've got to say, feel free, because I know extended highlights can be a lot different to the actual full 90 minutes. But from the extended highlights that I have watched, we looked a little bit nervy and a little bit shaky, and we looked like a team that hadn't won a game. And that's exactly what we were. Nick Pope, 2 fantastic saves, especially the first one after 10 seconds. Wow, what a great save. And I think Aaron Ramsdale coming in has really give Nick Pope that kick up the backside that he might have needed. And he seems imperious in goal. 3 clean sheets in 4 games. That can't be bad, can it? So Nick Pope, really good. In the opening 2 minutes of the game, the first 10 seconds, then the corner, comes back out to Wangy Chan, and he hits it. Now that one was a little bit easier than the first one, because the first one was a rocket. So well done to Nick Pope for that, for a great save. And I just thought some of the passing was a little bit off. The international break, this is one of the videos that I'm going to be bringing out. The international break just seems to ruin the momentum of a lot of players in the Premier League, especially the ones who are having to travel to South America or Africa or Asia. It's not so bad for the European ones, but them ones, I feel sorry for them ones who are coming back home on a Thursday from Brazil and then having to play on a Saturday. Bruno, God love him, looked absolutely shattered. Joe Linton played a little bit better, but he still didn't look his best. Sandro, really good again, but he played in Europe, didn't he? Sandro was awesome for Italy. He's by far their standout player, and he was great again, and he was unlucky in the match with a great shot, a great little jink to the side, and then hit it, and it was a bit of a daisy cutter to hit off the post. But Sandro Tonali is an awesome player, and I just thought he was probably our man of the match, other than maybe Jacob Murphy, who looked good on the right. He linked up with Voltemade, really good. And then we're getting on to the... So, yeah, Murphy looked really good. Joe Linton, not so much. Harvey Barnes, again, looks a little bit sluggish, a little bit off the pace. I don't know what's happened to him. Does he realise that he's second choice? But this was his chance. He got this chance last year, and he took it with both hands when Gordon got sent off before the cup final. This season, he just seems to be a little bit blasé. Doesn't seem to be wanting to get... Like, he's trying, but the level's dropped off a little bit, and he doesn't seem to be as much of a threat as what he was last season. Hopefully he can grow into the season, Harvey Barnes. He doesn't look as fit as some other people, and he should be, because he wasn't at England. He had no international duties. He should have really been, pardon me, fully focused on the Newcastle match. But, you know, we had a little bit of a link up in the second half, and it would have been one of the goal contenders of the season. That was beautiful football. Pardon me. It was Barnes, I think it was Bruno involved. I don't know if Joe Linton was. Back heels galore, and then he skies it, which was unlucky really, because it was a great move. But moving on to the main man, Voltemade. You know, a lot of pressure on this guy. He comes in as the exact replacement. Everybody's saying the Newcastle won't be able to cope without Alexander Isak. This was a massive waste of money. Voltemade, we've been outpriced and overpriced for him. Well, Voltemade come in, and yes, it's his first game in the Premier League. He's going to grow into it. But some of the little touches that he has, the hold-up play. Imagine him as like a number 10 if we change the formation and Wissa. He can hold the ball up. You've got Alanga, you've got Gordon, or Barnes and Murphy. He can hold it up, he can bring them into play. He's a big, strong lad. He's nimble with his feet, he can beat people. And he was just feeling it out, I think. Him and Murphy seem to link up really well. And they were just feeling out each other. And I think the more this team plays with Big Nick energy, as people like to call him, I think a lot more we'll see of, you know, Nick creating chances for others. But his header was great. It was a great header. It was a great ball in from Jacob Murphy, and it was a great header. And I just think he just adds something different, doesn't he? He's a big presence, but it's not just like a Jan Collar, you know, or somebody like that who's just a big lump. This guy can play football, and this guy can bring people in. This guy can hold the ball up. He like I say, he can beat a couple of people. You're not going to see that in the first few weeks. He's going to try and be a little bit more cautious till he finds his feet a little bit, finds the pace. This isn't Germany. Germany's close to the British game, but like Germany's there, England's there, you know, with the pace and the physicality. So I think it's going to take him a few weeks, but he's got that few weeks because Wissa's out. Willisula isn't not good enough. I like his energy, I like him, his personality. But Willisula's not good enough for Newcastle United. I'm sorry he's not. So unless Voltemade goes on the injury list, he's going to get a chance to establish himself. And you're going to see this guy come into his own. You're going to see him be more confident. When he gets more chance to learn how a Murphy or Alanga plays and what runs they make and this and that and the other and the midfield three, you're going to see this guy really link in. And he's going to hold balls up and you're going to see wingers going in behind. He can unlock teams with a little dribble and a little shink and a little shimmy shake what he does. You know, for a 6'6" guy, he's not like Dan Burn, is he? Dan Burn, bless him, tries his heart out, but like, yeah, he looks like a 6'6" guy. Voltemade doesn't. Voltemade is graceful. He's got quite a lot of skill. And Voltemade will link in with a lot of the players that we've got. And I'm very, very excited. Yes, he went off with a little bit of cramp. That's understandable. He's not used to the Premier League, and it did drop off once Willisula come on. And like I say, for as much as I like Willisula, he's just not good enough. But I'm very, very happy, very, very happy with Voltemade. The rest of the team, obviously, Sharon and Ben, another clean sheet. They don't look like they're going to be dropped anytime soon. But Botman and Chow must be chomping at the bit. Pardon me, Botman and Chow must be chomping at the bit now. Want to get the feel of this season. The Cher's 34 and Ben's 33. How long can this last? We've got Barcelona on Thursday. It's Monday now as I'm speaking. And then we've got Bournemouth on Sunday. Surely Botman and Chow have got to come in for one of them games. You can't be playing Ben and Cher at Barcelona and then again against Bournemouth. I really think Malik Chow and Botman will come in at some point. I'd like to love to see Lewis Hall back in. I think Livramento in league games against Wolves should be starting on the right and Lewis Hall on the left. I really do. Trippier against Barcelona, things like that, yeah, where you need that old head, you need that little bit of shithousery, you need that little bit of tactical nous. When you're sitting back a little bit and you're not going to be going forward as much, yes, I would put Trippier on against Barcelona. But for games at home against the likes of Wolves, I would now be starting Lewis Hall at left back and Tino Livramento at right back. But big win. It gets the ball rolling. It gets that monkey off our back. It gets our players feeling like we can do something. We played really well against Liverpool and should have got a draw. We played really well against Villa and we should have won them. Leeds, well, say no more about Leeds, but we got a draw there. So we've only been beaten once this season. We've won one, drew two, lost one. We need to get them wins back up. We've got a few hard games coming up. We've got Barcelona. We've got Bournemouth, we've got Bradford, we've got Forest, we've got Arsenal. There's our next 5 games. Yes, we should be beating Bradford in the AFL Cup, but the other 4, they're hard games. So the fact that we beat Wolves, the fact that we've got our first win, the fact that we can look around each other now and think, right, yes, we know how to win again, we know how to score a goal, we've got the big man up top who we can rely on. There's got to be a little bit of pressure taken off. Now, you know, the pressure's going to mount on Voltemade because he has scored in his debut, so now that's expected. It's now going to be expected against Barcelona. We need a big game against Barcelona. I would take a 0-0 draw all day long against them. I really would. We're long gone are the days where I'd take a 1-0 defeat and think it was a good result, because it's not a good result. Years ago I would have. No, it's not a good result. We're at home against Barcelona and we have a chance, especially with get me words out, Big Nick Energy can really bring the energy. But on the whole, I thought that was a really, really good, not a good performance, but a really good win. And we're just building up, We got Wissa back in after the next international break, Jacob Ramsey back after the next international break. They're massive because Willock's not the player he used to be. Lewis Miley, I don't think is good enough, and Willis is certainly not good enough. So they'll add a little bit of more competition, a little bit more quality. But moving forward, big win against Wolves, it's just what we needed. And I think that might be the catalyst, just as it has been in the last couple of seasons, the games against Wolves at home. I think that might be a catalyst to really settle ourselves and move forward. But anyway, the next video that I will be bringing out, I'm going to do tomorrow, which will be the Barcelona preview. Not just who I think will start and what the score will be, but I'm going to talk about my experiences of the 3-2 and the other games that we've had against them in the Champions League. How old I was, where I was at when I watched them, and all them things. Give a little bit more of a personal experience to it instead of just, well, I think Nick Pope will start in goal and I think Gordon will start. You know, yes, I'm going to do that and all because that's important. But I also want to talk about my own personal experience as a Newcastle fan, growing up watching the Asprey hat-trick and blah, 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 blah. You know, so I think that will be a really interesting video. Tune in on Wednesday for that one, the Barcelona preview. This will be out at 12 o'clock on Tuesday. I hope it's a good returning video. Like I always say, if we can try and hit like, hit subscribe and share the channel, help it grow, costs nothing. And it just encourages me to do more videos if you do like the cut of my jib. Anyway, keep it black and white, keep it PoolieMagTV. Over and out, folks.